the stream. Dun dun dun. Stream started. Stream started. Yeah. Let's see how many violations I can get tonight. What do we start off with? Start off with a little mop and glow. Start off with a little mop and glow.
Still can't believe that I made it. Remember, I woke up incapacitated. Thought my life was over and I couldn't take it. Sat in the dark by myself and contemplated. I grabbed my 40 that's black and nickel plated and then meditated. Yeah, that shit was tragic. But shit, at that point, I was just being dramatic. Now I'm going from semi to full automatic. When I was laying in that hospital bed and nearly dead, thinking about all the people that I would die for. The same ones I would've took a bullet for. Showed me that I'm not even a nigga that they would cry for. It hurt worse than a bitch to see I wasn't on the bottom of the list of the people they would ride for. And now my heart cold and I got this metal in my body, got me feeling like a motherfucking cyborg. It left me hanging with my neck in the news. I'm not built like these regular fools, not disrespecting the rules. When I say I hit rock bottom, no, I ain't talking about the Wayne Johnson wrestling moves. Is it cocky when you know that you the best in the room? My words state my opposition will get swept with a broom. At this point I don't got shit left to prove, and it's easy to win when you know that they expect you to lose. Cause I gotta thrive. This is the part when I bounce back and come take control of my life. Cause in the moment of weakness I told God to just let me die. But I'm alive, not talking Gloria Gaynor when I say that I will survive. Now I'm gonna climb over this obstacle, cause there's nothing in this world that will stop me from getting what's mine.
Little intro, right fire there. How you all doing? Welcome, welcome. It is 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, and I am TNathan. So that means you all are listening to Conversations with TNathan, where I have conversations with myself back and forth about unapologetically black perspectives on topical situations from politics, geopolitics, to social justice issues. So welcome to the conversation. Hope you enjoy yourself. Now let's get it. Greetings, GCPR. How are you all doing? Jay's at home. Yeah, do me a favor. Go mad. Do me a favor. Go mad for Baymax. My eyes are at half mast. Already, Nancy? Penelope. Penelope. What's good? What's good? How are you all doing today? How is everybody doing? Anybody in Texas? Anybody in Texas? I'm old. I'm old too, Nancy. But I thought you I just sleep less and less the older I get. I have arrived. I sleep less and less. The older I get, the more my insomnia kicks in. And I am not like I hear other people talking about their insomnia and it's all. I love my insomnia. I don't be tired. I love my insomnia. I think my insomnia has been my superpower throughout my life. It has allowed me to read uninterrupted. I don't have the same, I don't, yeah. My body, when it gets tired, it just shuts down and we start the whole thing all over again. Yeah, I love my insomnia. Yeah, I advocate um, functional insomnia, I call it, because like I'll sleep when I'm beyond the veil. Right now, I got things to do. Anytime I pick up a book, I'd be so thankful that my insomnia is not going to be the reason I don't. It's going to be the reason I finish this book in a timely manner. Because when other people are asleep, I'm 10 years older than you. And my insomnia wasn't as developed as it is now, 10 years ago. As I get older, it gets better developed. And then the gym helps. The gym helps. So greetings, salutations. How's everybody doing? And I am great. Hope somebody told you they love you today. And I hope you told somebody you love them today and meant it. That's part of being living out. You gotta mean these things. Enjoy the day off. Enjoying the day off. Well, I, you're back at work now. So it's a lot going on. Jay, run over to the place that I can't mention on TikTok and make sure sound quality and picture quality are right over there and come back and tell me. All right, run over there and let me know, Jay, right quick. So as you can see, we're gonna start off tonight talking about if I don't know. I maybe should wait to more people, but y'all remember last night? And I always bring these things up because when people tell me, they doubt what I say, and yes, is it petty? Is it petty to come back and prove the point that you were making before it was a headline that you actually can do these things? Yeah, and I'm gonna get to that, but you see this last night. I was talking about the 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 death toll in Texas, and I said it was going to be much higher than that because, and I explained why. I said we're just talking about the people missing that we knew were supposed to be in that area. They focused on the camp because they knew people were supposed to be there. They focused on people that had hotel reservations that hadn't checked back in with the hotel, and I said it was going to be higher, and I said the number missing was going to be higher. Well, today, the governor of Texas comes out and acknowledges that there are over 110 dead. I think it's 100. Before I came on, it was 114, I believe. 110 to 14 dead already. But look at this missing number. Look at this. And sound on the app is good. All right, thank you. Remember, look at his missing number. The missing number is now over 170, shot up from the 29 we were talking about to 170. And as I explained last night, and I'm going to say this number is going even higher. This number is going to go higher because of the fact that we're only still talking about the people that have either been acknowledged or in the area. And this doesn't take into account, and this is one of the things I always say in natural disasters, that the people who are disproportionately impacted the most are those who happen to be homeless in that area. We never get a good number on them because our society doesn't care. Yeah, I said it and I mean it. Um, Wildfires in Texas and California, those wildfires cut through a swath of area that homeless had made their homes in, but nobody's talking about them. And just like this flooding in these areas, there are people that were in these areas in RVs that were just on the road vacationing that hadn't checked in with anybody and they don't even know they're missing yet. There were people that were homeless living in these wooded areas that have just been washed away, and we will never get the final numbers on them. So, um, no less than five. The government failed them. Yes, it did, and it depends on how you talk, how you're framing it, because the local government failed them by not installing sirens along that area, um, saying that the FEMA failed because they didn't have a grant. The NWA, the National Weather Association, was failed by the government, and therefore they couldn't even provide the services that they could in their maximum capacity because of cuts, hiring cuts, and staff cuts. Yes, all that plays a part, and it's kind of ironic to be in this situation where we're looking at the fact that we're having a real time moment about what people in February from the National Weather Association, I mean, National Weather Service, tried to tell us that there would be deaths because of these hiring cuts. And the idea that they were acknowledged that there were five people from the National Weather Service in the office at that time, up from the two that they would have had there, because these people care about their jobs. And then they reached out and tried to contact people, and then people didn't even do the alarms that they were supposed to do in their area. The sheriff's there in the county talking about he didn't get the notice to after the event started. Well, it's not the National Weather Service's fault that you didn't get the notice. It's the systems you all put in place. Does anybody else find it? I don't even know what to call it. Irony, or just you just laugh in the face of it to keep from screaming. But the idea that the communications between these areas was so bad they had to hook their phones up to Starlink. Anybody else notice that they had to hook their greetings to Starlink? I blame Trump. Stuff trickles when he cuts stuff. Um, then you must blame. You can't stop the blame there. Then You have to blame Stephen Miller. You have to blame um, Elon Musk. You have to blame the people that were whispering in his ear that this is the policy that we're going to move forward with. You just don't stop there because I blame all of them. All of them are culpable in this situation. And by just focusing on one person, you miss the culpability of all these people. They're culpable in it. Hard head makes a is I refuse to use Starlink. Like I said, I'm sorry. Are you in Texas right now? H. Are you in Texas right now? Greetings, Allah. Because I'm not asking you all to focus on yourselves. I'm not asking. I wasn't asking you about if you using Starlink. I was talking about the service being used by the rescuers in that area because of the communications that are failing. See, that's some of our problems. We center ourselves in what I talk about when I'm talking about something that doesn't involve you, unless you're a rescuer out there, and then you are going to use Starlink because at the moment it's the best thing to use when you're trying to rescue people. I know, I know. I probably would catch more flies with honey than vinegar, but if you know me, I'm not trying to catch flies. I'm trying to have conversations that do not involve the centering of people and what they would do in a situation when I'm talking about what is happening, what is happening. So, if you're a rescuer out there, I ask you to come up and tell us about what you're going through. But if you're not, I'm talking about what's happening and unfolding in Texas. And not only that, I can do it by assigning blame. It's like someone today was talking, and I was talking about this situation, and they were saying that this and that, and I was like, yeah, I'm not talking about you. At the end of the day, we can. And then it was like, this is the funny part. They came to me because I was talking about the situation and how we deal with the blame of it now. And they said, well, we need to be thinking about the people who lost their lives and focusing on that. And I say, I'm not a rescuer. I'm not in that area rescuing people because I am in Kansas. If I was in that area rescuing people, I'd be rescuing people, and then I wouldn't have. But the majority of the country is not in that area rescuing people. But we will be affected by weather going forward. And we need to be talking about who's to blame for this failure of our system. And we don't have to do one or the other. Here we multitask. See, in this space, we multitask. We have to have the ability to think about the issue, the solution to the issue, while also acknowledging that people lost their lives. We can do all that. This is not a one stop questioning area. What's good, dresses and swords? Greetings. I see my queen aunt, great aunt is in here. The queen auntie is in here. Right. Storm season is well. Storm season for the South, especially, is here. Started June the 1st. But you understand, we live in a world, a planet that storms at any given minute. I live in Kansas, and one of my greatest things is like, do I want to visit Oz anytime soon? And then you have to think about when the cuts were made to I don't know if Cynthia Revo is there, and we got to take on the oppressor of the Wiz. Might need to go there. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Maybe I have more people that get it then in Oz than we do here. But we live in a place where we are watching the systematic erosion of not just rights, but the benefits of citizenship. That's another thing I can't get people to understand. The benefits of citizenship in the United States is to have the National Weather Service with its access to multiple streams of data and information to provide the best weather pattern predictions and outlays. That's probably the benefits of citizenship. And then we're watching that program get cut. So now we live in a country where, because of flooding happens in the mountains, and if we don't know about it, that the ice is melting more rapidly, feeding a stream in the mountains. If we don't know about it, we're in our house, sleep at night, no alarms, and the next thing you know, a wave of 24-foot wave of water just comes washing in because we're defunding the agencies that monitor it. Yeah, We're defunding the agencies that monitor it, and we're fine with. Like I say, the right. We could live in a totalitarian. We can live in a totalitarian state and have the rights of an advanced society, but we got to. We have to sacrifice both of them. We have to live in a totalitarian state and also sacrifice the effects that it is going to have on the base citizens of that totalitarian state. These are the pictures I be trying to frame for people. This is what I be trying to get people to understand, that it's not just about one issue. And I also want the adults to enter back into the conversation. I want the adults. I want you all to start, when people say this is what they voted for, I want you to start telling them you didn't vote for this. Especially, I want, I think of my grandmother trying to retire this year, moving her date because she's not sure how this is going to impact her. She didn't vote for Trump. She didn't vote for this. She's worked all her life. She is entitled to the rights and privileges that they told her would be there for working all her goddamn life. And you all are running around here talking about, well, they voted for this. I want somebody to say that to me in person because I feel like slapping somebody. I'm so tired of everyone running up on the internet every time something tragic happens or every time something happens to somebody that is a direct response or direct fallout of this administration's policy, and their answer is that this is what they voted for. You know who says that the most? The people who were never doing anything about anything in the first place. The people who were never doing anything about anything in the first place are using this as if some great breakthrough or some great appeal to their intellectual superiority by saying, well, this is what they voted for. This is what they voted for. Um, do you think the people that live in rural areas that are black and brown voted to lose their Medicaid and Medicare and watch $1 trillion get cut that is going to directly impact their ability to go to urgent care when they literally have almost chopped their foot off? You think that's what they're voting for? Yeah. You think that we're systematically watching the whitewashing of history and the whitewashing of the LGBTQ community to this society because this is what they voted for? You think people who advocated for Harriet Tubman being put on the $20 bill and are still waiting voted for this? You think the people that actually celebrate the blackness of history or voting for the rewashing and whitewashing of that history? Is that what you all think? Because you all sit around and allow this in your space. And I'm telling you, it is to the point now where a lot of people I have stopped associating with because they have shown me they're not even willing to even make a comment in cyberspace, much less fight the good fight in real time. And we'll come to this, we come to these ideas of thinking ignoring something means it's going to go away. When has that worked? How many of you all have had a medical situation that you thought, I'm just going to ignore it and it goes away? I've had walking pneumonia, and I knew that ignoring it wasn't going to make it go away. That didn't mean I still didn't do things like go to protests with walking pneumonia or be out here helping those who have been homeless with walking pneumonia. I knew I had walking pneumonia. And I knew that, yes, I had to shut down and take care of it. But I didn't ignore it and think it was just going to go away. So how is it that we're to this point now where the people you all listen to, or the people that have the loudest voice, or the people that are telling you every time you say something about something in this administration that literally affects you, that hey, they voted for this, and this is coming from the 90%, the so-called 92% of black people that didn't vote for this. Did I miss something? So are the adults going to enter back into the conversation, or have we abdicated it to children? And if you don't understand, if you feel like I'm talking about you, I probably am. Because we're at the point now where, and I'm gonna share this story with you all, right? And I guarantee you, Queen Great Aunt, my Queen Auntie knows what I'm talking about. I came of age to parents who were revolutionaries. See, my grandmother was a revolutionary. My parents were revolutionary. I came of age in their shadow. I came of age in a Mississippi that elected a racist governor every every time. Every time there was an election, there was a racist governor. But you know what my parents and grandparents never stopped doing? They never stopped and said that they were going to not protest by going on the beach where they paid their taxes at. And then my mother didn't even like the beach. She was out there fighting for other people that looked like her to have access to the beach that paid their taxes. She didn't stop doing it because another governor got in office. The system stayed the same. So I never in my life heard my mother or grandmother say this is what they voted for while we were suffering under the oppression of those in power. So where in the hell do we get off listening to people today talk about we resting? If my goddamn grandmother and mother didn't get to rest, I don't have any feelings for your resting in the face of oppression. I don't. I don't care who you are. I don't have any feelings for you. If those if those foot soldiers on that bridge in Selma in 1965 didn't get to rest for 60 years because they still fought the good fight, you lived in a state where George Wallace was elected president, governor, sorry, Alabama. You lived in a state where George Wallace was elected governor, a governor that stood on the steps of the University of Alabama and said black people would never enter. Do you think black people stopped fighting him that day? Do you think that the National Guard didn't have to show up because we were showing out about our education? So those the people you all want to follow are the people that were told you, "Oh, we tired in 1963. We tired. We don't feel like getting an education. We don't feel like fighting for our rights to pay tax, our right to have our tax money benefit us in education." You all sound stupid, and TikTok doesn't like it when I call people stupid, but you sound stupid. And listening to those people, you all sound stupid too. Stupid. And I'm listening to people, y'all listening to people who don't have a tenth of the resume I have. In 2018, we were fighting for flag change. I'm getting message from the Klan. Do you think at any time I said, "Oh, I need a rest from this"? I think I'm just gonna sit down and let them do what they do for a couple of years, and then I'll get back up in. And as we celebrate the 5th year anniversary of the removing of the state flag of Mississippi and having it replaced with something more different, well, we got the battle emblem of the Confederacy taken off of it. But do you think that 5 years after that, I'm gonna sit down? I'm in documentaries on this shit, and you think I'm still gonna sit down and say, "Oh, I think I did enough"? Do you all think that? Is this what you think? So I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get this fascination with watching black and brown people that you think are different from you because oh they from Haiti, they from Nigeria, they from the West Coast, they from West Africa, or they're from Venezuela, or they're from El Salvador. They're not foundationally black like we are. Nigga, shut up. Shut up. Anti-blackness is a worldwide phenomenon. And you all out here picking and choosing. Like they looking at you and laughing. That's what the oppressor is doing. The oppressor is looking at you laughing, talking about you're foundationally black. We ain't giving your black ass anything, and we ain't giving their black ass anything. But you all sitting here fight amongst each other. Yeah, we good. Y'all keep fighting amongst each other about who black is. Yeah, y'all stupid. Y'all are stupid. You all are sitting back while man is talking about reinstituting slavery. Like, oh, we didn't just spend 400 years enslaved under chattel slavery and oppression and systemic racism. But you are acting like it's different. It's going to be different this time because, they're not as, they're brown, they're not black. You all you're so enamored with a couple of crumbs from a table that just give you a couple and you'll turn on anybody else. But I tell hoteps, I tell people that just want to trade places with the oppressor that we're not friends. I'm not your friend because you want to trade places with the oppressor. I'm not your friend. Don't ever make that mistake. Maya Angelou might say that we fight against oppression. And yes, it is true. She said we fight from it for uniquely black perspective. But the first line was we fight against oppression. And if your idea is to oppress somebody simply because you were oppressed, then kill. And people don't realize, people can't balance this with me, that I believe we end racism by ending racist. But then you say you don't want to oppress anybody. No, it's not the same. And if you can't understand the difference in that, then maybe revolutionary school you skipped. I don't want the burden of responsibility of oppressing anybody, but I'll take the burden and the responsibility for eliminating those who want to. It's not the same. Glad to finally have a place in society now, like how they act. Glad to finally have a place in society now, like how they acting. Take the responsibility for. If you're not willing to eliminate oppression by any means necessary, then take the word freedom out of your vocabulary. I paraphrased a statement by El Haj Malik Shabazz when he talked. I also believe we're past the point where we have to continue to think that dying is noble in the face of oppression. Yeah, I am smart enough, I'm strategic enough, and I'm tactical enough to come up with plans to strike out at the oppressor without having to convince you to sacrifice yourself by jumping off a building to prove a point. That's not to say that in war there won't be casualties, but you don't go into every battle thinking it's an unaliving mission. If that's the case, you all need to stop following some of the people you all follow. You need to stop following some of the people you follow if they can't even come up with a system or a plan that involves not and they all and stop following people that are always willing to push you out there and not doing it themselves also. Don't call yourself a revolutionary if you're not willing to put in the work. And that's a lot of people that we see. I see people holding lives, talking all this stuff like they're revolutionaries, and they can't even bust a grape in a fruit salad. I started to say something else, but that might have been too telling. I might have been too telling. Yep. If you have gotten beat up in front of your child, you're not a revolutionary. If you've gotten beat up in front of your child and took it and didn't get your revenge and let your child know how to get their revenge, you're probably not a revolutionary. You're probably not a revolutionary. Blind following the blind. I think it's worse than that. I think it's worse than that, Queen, Auntie. I think it's the idea that the blind don't know they're blind, and the followers don't know they're blind too. It's it's like this is when you're blind. You know how blind people have have the hyper awareness of the world through their other senses because they know they're blind. These people don't know they're blind. They think they be on to something. They think they be on to something, Queen. They think they're on to something. I be listening to them and they be talking and they be having this amen corner of other stupid people and they're amening on some of the stupidest shit you ever heard and they think they be on to something. But you know what? You all know my history. If you follow me for a while, not only do you know I'm at protest, you know that I'm protesting. And there's a difference between just being at a protest and protesting. But that's another distinction for another day when the statute of limitations run out. But these are not people I have actively seen anywhere. These people, like U.S. Army Overlord, I know he's a real. I know he's a real one. Jay, my brother Jay. I know he a real one because we got thrown off the steps of the Supreme Court protesting. We got we got thrown off of the steps of the Supreme Court with our just the three of us protesting. We got thrown off while I was filming an interview on the steps of the Supreme Court because they didn't like what I was saying. These are real people. But a lot of these other people that you all be listening to, they be talking and jumping up and down and acting like they're revolutionaries. They didn't even go to any walking marches during 2020, much less any protests. I didn't see them. I made a lot of contacts on the National Plaza while we were being tear gassed. But none of these people out here talking about these things from the safety of their couch were out there. None of them were out there. These people that telling you they resting, what are they resting from? What did they do? Oh, they voted. Oh, I heard somebody said, "Oh, I did my job. I voted on November 5th." How many people you took to the polls? How much of your own money did you spend making sure people got to the polls? You thought you voted, and you think you have a right to rest now? Y'all stupid. Y'all stupid. Oh, we did our part. I don't know. I don't know. You're talking to somebody who was instrumental in a flag being taken down and changed. So I don't know what your part looks like. And that was just on a slow year. That was a slow year of protests. You're talking to somebody who has Leo charges. Anybody know what a Leo charge is? Anybody know what a Leo charge is? I'm just curious. Anybody else have any Leo charges? Yeah. Yeah. They're resting at the seafood boil place where their followers paying for their meal. Yep, they sure are. And I can't even get people to donate to help me feed those who happen to be homeless. Allegedly, yeah. We can't even get people to donate to help feed those who have to be homeless. But you all can donate to your favorite content creator who's resting and wants you to supply their marijuana while they rest. Yeah. See, I post mine on that other app so nobody has to come over here and video recording me saying something and post it over there. You can just go lift it from the other app. Yeah. They're raising money for a bus you never ever seen. Listen, I was tempted. I'm tempted to pull up the news report because I've done these things. They talk about these things. We have done these things. And it's not interview like, oh, you. I don't have to. I don't have to toot my own horn. The world speaks for itself. This needs. They speak for themselves. I'm still trying to figure out where did the money go to. I'm not. We know where the money went. We know. Now I sent him video of Jones, but yeah, he sure did. Penelope sent me video of the Jones bus, and then like I say, and these people are out here acting like they've read a book. That's what gets me also. These people out here acting like they read a book. Have y'all seen? Did you all see my take on the new video I just posted on Carnival Cruise? Oh, y'all probably saw the old one. I was 14, so my stuff was removed. Black Panthers and GD days. Yeah, 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 yeah. 7-4. 7-4. 6 points. Political awareness was one of those points. That's what people don't realize, right? That when you live the life and people be talking about stuff and you be like, that's those were one of our points. Political awareness, financial astuteness, love life, and love and life knowledge. It's only part of it. But oh, okay. Hold on. I didn't know y'all could hear that in the background. So let's get into it. I want y'all to listen. And listen, you know my videos get violated. The movie Teeth creeped me out. We're not watching that movie. Told y'all want me to watch, raise $750 to help me with students and meals. But listen to this. I want y'all to listen to this. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how people are reacting to the fight that took place on Carnival Cruise Line and the response videos that people have made. And you can go see them by Carnival Cruise Fights. And not only will you see racists and bigots telling you who they are, but there are a couple of rocket raccoons there also with their bougie excuse for responding the way they do. You know, like them good black folks that want white folks to understand they're not like them, even though they don't know who they are, giving their commentary because they want to be welcome in those spaces that the bigots and racists are setting, and they need token black people. And not to be outdone, you have Rocky Raccoons like I Block Simps here talking about that the issue is with black women. Yeah, that was his stance.
Important that we identify who's actually doing this. It's ratchet black females. Ratchet, ghetto-minded, modern-minded black females that are doing this. It's not black men.
Spoken just like somebody who a black girl told them they were ugly when they were in the 6th grade, and they still haven't healed. But I digress. I said what I said. Now, let me tell you how I know these responses are rooted in either self-hate, bigotry, or racism. Because I could do my usual and come on and give you stats surrounding each one of these incidences that have occurred up until March of this year on these cruise lines and show you the diversity of that. Or I could ask you, where were you for the following?
We're back now with that cruise ship chaos. Nearly 24 members of the same family kicked off a Carnival cruise after a wild brawl with security guards. ABC's Gio Benitez joins us now. Gio, some passengers were so scared they locked themselves in the rooms.
Robin, they locked themselves, just as you said. Listen, reports say it was near anarchy aboard this cruise ship. And what may have started it all? Well, someone stepping on someone else's flip-flop.
A flip-flop? Fans. I guess they just haven't had enough time to get around to instituting the no. You know, this was flip flops, but they didn't waste no time. You know, the fans. But this was flip flops, and this was years ago. This was years. There was no law. There was no flip flop rules made. 25, 24, 26 members of the same family going around terrorizing people on the boat. But let's get to the good part. No flip flop rule yet. But let's continue. Stay with me. I know you all are wondering, what does this family look like?
Police were called to meet the ship a day before it returned home. The family forced to disembark while passengers watched. Carnival Cruise told ABC News in a statement, our security team responded in several instances to extremely unruly behavior by these guests. The actions seen on the video by our security team are not in line with our Carnival values and policies. We are conducting a full investigation.
And just in case you didn't get a good look at the family, because faces might have been blurred. No, this is them. This is two of them. And just in case. Yeah, just gonna leave that right here. Yeah, you're gonna leave that right there. This is family. Y'all just gonna leave it right there. I just want you to see this family. But this is the thing, like I say, this was a couple of years ago, and there was no rule changes or anything. And it's not the first or the last, but still, for a city the size of what will be present on a Carnival cruise line or any other cruise line, y'all act, this is what gets me about black folks, right? The good black folks that are here talking. Y'all act like y'all never been in a club and a fight broke out, or at a family reunion and a fight broke out. While you're calling somebody, I guess that means You good white folks too. Y'all act like y'all never been somewhere and you all started fighting about some of the most interesting things because that alcohol gets to flowing and y'all act like y'all didn't fight. But see, when black people are involved, all of a sudden we got to change some rules somewhere, don't we? And then it's not that I don't think Carnival has a right to change any rules it wants to. The fan rule showed me it was obvious racism. But at the end of the day, I'm going after the people who are reacting to this fight like they never seen any other video, right? I'm going after the people that look like me that are all of a sudden, well, that's why I don't do this and I don't do that because you want good white folks to think you're a good one. That's what you're doing it for. Because, yes, I didn't go to a family reunion this year because I knew if I showed up, I was going to fight. I knew that. I said, I'm not going because if I show up, somebody say something wrong to me, I'm going in somebody's jaw. I know. I know. And Cole, I guess and I was thinking that before I realized I didn't even know I grew up in a ghetto or a ratchet environment. But I will beat some of y'all's ass when you say, "Oh, we're not like them." You Negroes would have still been on the farm working in the plantation. Shut up talking to me. Oh, let me get back to it. I have more to say in this video.
Moving right along. And to the white woman talking about this is the EBT ghetto ratchet crowd, you need to be quiet living in your single wide trailer. And the only thing holding it together is the roaches joining hands.
Yeah, that was up here talking, the white girl talking about, oh, this is just so ghetto and so ratchet. I, you live in a single wide, a double wide trailer. You live in a single wide trailer. And like I said, the only thing holding it together is that the roaches are holding hands. Don't play with me. I'll find your trailer and everything else about you.
Yeah. Now, oh, you all want to know about this picture?
Listen to
This
this.
picture
I took
was
this
taken
picture.
approximately 20 minutes from my home when I lived in Gulfport, Mississippi,
If
up
you know, you know.
49 to a place called Wiggins, Mississippi. But I'm getting back to that. Just
And just in case you all can't see that picture clearly, that picture was taken from the side of the road while I was driving up, while I was riding up Highway 49 to Jackson. I was going to Jackson. And this is a conclave. This is a clanclave, in case you don't know what a clanclave is. It's those white specks you see in there. Those are clan members. And this is the side of the road. This is the side of the road, Wiggins, Mississippi. That's why I always carry that. I don't care what people say. They were like, oh, convicted felons can't do this, can't do that. I'm going to tell you what, I'll be a reconvicted felon eating ramen noodles in prison before I be a dead man pushing up grave roses on a grave that my parents and my friends have to come and see me at. Y'all just make that track to prison. I'll put you on the visitation list. But anyway, I digress. Move right along.
just a moment. And those people in the white sheets and the hoods are exactly who you think they are. Now, I took the time to go through some of you all's racists and bigots and self-hating Rocket Raccoons pages.
Did I miss something? Um, I'm out because you don't care. So long, farewell. All right. Yeah, I just saw that. I don't know if they still here or not, but who you talking to? Who don't care? I tell you what, I care enough that you won't say that to my face. I care enough that you're going to be calling me ratchet and ghetto while you're at the dentist. I care that much. The people who call people that they see fighting and ratchet and ghetto are people who can't fight. I said what I said. Now, you out here calling people ratchet and ghetto. Don't even know what they were fighting about. Could have been fighting because could have been fighting over something somebody said to their child. Or don't know what they fighting about. But it's get. I'm telling you, the people who talk most about people who are fighting are people who can't fight. I stand on that. Okay, back to my video.
And know what I didn't notice while you all were acting like this brawl on a cruise ship was the end of the world and black people were somehow responsible for that? I did notice one video about the over 200-year history of people like this and what they have done to our communities. But yeah, cruise ships. Yeah. You all have the hypocritical day you deserve.
Yeah, that's what I just want to know. And I said, like I say, see all these people is talking about this. Like, if you look at the stats, you see just as many involved in fights. But you know what you see more white people involved in as far as perpetrators of on cruise ships? SAG assault. Yeah, that's what you'll see more white people involved in. Nobody involved in that fight died. Nobody in that fight SAG assaulted somebody. But yeah, and somebody should make a video about that. Somebody should make a video about stats. Don't y'all think? Do you think somebody should make a video about that? Hold on, let's see if I can find somebody who would make a video about that.
So let's
Oh,
talk.
I found somebody, y'all. I, I bet somebody did. I found somebody who made a video about it. Let's see what he has to say.
About it. I see a lot of you all are talking about Carnival Cruises' new rules that they instituted after a brawl broke out on their ship. And people are saying that these rules were inspired by racism. Well, yeah, teen curfew, age policy, the fan ban, pool chair rule, behavior equals consequences, and boarding requirements. Yeah, so Carnival Cruise instituted these new rules after this fight broke out that involved a certain amount of black people. And people say, TNathan, what do you think about it? Well, this is what I think. Carnival Cruise, while you were so quick to institute these new rules and policies, riddle me this.
Hold on.
While you all are so interested in banning wobbles, line dances, and fans Carnival Cruise, when are you going to do something to institute some policies about being the leading cruise line with the most SAG assaults in grapes? I don't
Fair
make the
question.
rules. I just ask
Fair
you
question,
all
right?
about them.
That's a fair
See,
question.
Carnival Cruise, while you're so interested in banning fans at an incident where nobody died or was SAG assaulted, when are you going to do something about the fact that for the first quarter of 2024, you had the most number of SAG assaults at sea? And the year prior to that, you had 45 SAG assaults and grapes, more by capital than 20 U.S. cities. Yeah. Do you think you should make some laws or rules governing this? And Carnival Cruise, when you all were confronted with these stats, your CEO proceeded to lie about the size of Carnival Cruise fleet and said it was larger and therefore the percentages were smaller than other fleets. It must be hard counting to 27. 27, the same number of ships that the Royal Caribbean has, and they have larger ships and therefore more passengers at any given time. So percentage-wise, it is even worse that you have that many SAG assaults and grapes aboard your ships in any year. And we're just going to speed past the fact that if 48 were reported, about how many went unreported. And while we could argue about most of these rules, whether they're racist or not,
I don't care.
What is it with the fan ban? Folding clack fans are no longer allowed in nightclubs and indoor dance floors for safety reasons. And battery-operated fans are still allowed, which last time I checked, they make more noise than opening a fan doing a line dance. But I digress. In Carnival Cruise, since you're so invested in instituting a fan rule on
Yeah,
one of your ships
y'all
after
invested.
this
Y'all
brawl in
invested.
which nobody died or nobody was SAG assaulted, when are you going to get around to doing something to institute some rules about you having the highest number of SAG assaults in the industry? And maybe you can lead this to saying, hey, maybe we should start paying our bartenders, because bartenders and waiters on Carnival cruise ships are not paid a salary, but
Did y'all
depend
know
on
that?
tips and
Did you all know that?
gratitudes. So the bartenders are motivated to sell excessive amounts of alcohol in order to earn a living. And couple that with the fact that there is no law enforcement there, and you all actually have what is called fun cruises where you can pay and drink as much as you want. And we know who is also the chief purveyor of SAG assault crimes.
Who's gonna make the rules?
That would be white men, by a factor of more than 2 times to the next nearest demographic. So, why you stupid people are running around here celebrating
Stupid
these
people.
rules that Carnival Cruise has instituted to keep you safe from a fan? Maybe you should be asking yourself, especially you women who are running around here celebrating, that would be you white women, who is the real danger on a Carnival Cruise? A fan
Somebody tell my love
or
what
this
SAG
number right
assault
here?
means.
Y'all have the day you deserve. And stop playing in my face. So if
Somebody
you
in
follow
here.
the news,
Somebody in here. I just want to prove a point. Somebody tell my love what SAG assault is. All right, well, pull that up. Yeah. At this point, napkin will be banned from cruise ship because of safety reasons. Yeah. At the end of the day, let me get this down because y'all know TikTok. At the end of the day, the idea, and then I also want people, I want my true believers and the people that follow us on a regular basis, I want you all to start helping me. You see somebody in the comment section that commented on something that's not in the video or that has nothing to do with the video, just go ahead and cuss them out. Cuss them out. And I also am making a video about how we can cuss people out and not and get past the sentence. I've been doing it and I'm waiting for the results to come in. So far, I haven't got a ban on a comment because I did this simple thing, and we're going to talk about it later. Yeah, but we're gonna talk about. Oh, I see nobody put it in. SAG assault. I can't. You can't on TikTok. They don't like for you to say the SA words. So SAG assault is the term we use for SA. So you figure it out instead of saying S that kind of assault. It's SAG assault, and instead of saying that. All right. I think sometimes I think things I say, I think they just process in my head and they don't come through because people don't respond to them. So I'm sure it's just an oversight on my part. All right. So that's where. So when you ask me, I put in the comments that did not go through. It didn't go through. Yeah, yeah. Why are the fans not allowed? Because the clacking sound in the club is just too loud. It's the idea they made that and they put it in there and they said because the sound they make is loud, right? I was like, I'm literally in a club playing loud music and the clack of the fan opening is it. That's the safety violation, right? Yeah. Thank you, Gracie. Yeah, I didn't know. That's why my comments are the way they are for people that don't get it. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Y'all say hello to my grandmother. Grandmother has entered the chat. We were just talking about you earlier, grandmother. How are you doing? How are you doing? How's your sinuses? Yeah. Y'all send my grandmother some positive universal energy. Listen, my grandmother's in the chat, and if anything goes sideways, I'm going to beat you up about it. or don't get blocked. You can tussle with me all you want to. Disrespect my grandmother or my mother when they come in, you will get blocked. Yeah. So how are you doing? Yeah, I'm doing good. I still want to know what happened to the magical mental health. I can't tell you, Olivia. I still don't know. I still don't know. Yes. Yeah. I want to make one of those videos with my grandmother, and people be like, this is my grandmother, and she wants to tell you all something, and you better be nice. I don't even care what she say. I just want to do it. I might have to go all the way to the East Coast to make that one video. Yeah, I need her, my queen aunt, and my mother. I need all three of them in a video that I can say. And the thing about it, I would have to go from to make this. I need to get them all together. We need to go somewhere all together because to make this video, I have to go to the middle of the country, the east coast of the country, and to Texas. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it in 24 hours. I don't know. You are in the middle already. Moni in the middle. Where's she at? In the middle. Okay. Just kidding. All right, there's 64 of you all in here. Some of you all are new. I'm not asking this of the people that are already, but hey, we need school supplies and we need food to, we do meals for those who have to be homeless. And here's a cash app if you would like to help. I don't have a bus. I have no breast, and I can't stand up. Can't stand up. Yep, I can't stand up. So if those are requirements, then I don't know what to tell you. But if you would like to help us with those who have to be homeless or school supplies, um, then Reese has some school supplies, but it's going to cost a lot to get them here. We'll work on that. We're going to work on that also because any excess we'll be donating to the local charity that takes up for their students also. So that's how we do it here. Any excess I get from my students, we make sure we share it and vice versa. So if you would like to participate, if you would like to help, if you donated any money to a bus, you need to get on here. We don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. If you donated, talking about you donating money to somebody to send to people in Gaza or to send to somebody getting a bus together and they don't even have the ability to bus, yeah, y'all need to hit this up. Y'all need to hit this up. And when I tell you, we greatly appreciate it. They just pinned it in the comment section for those. What grade are you accepting? I'm accepting 13 to 16 and to 17-year olds. And I'm about to get four more. I'm about to get four more. And all the requirements, they're all immigrant children. They're all children of immigrants that are, school is problematic at best under these times. So we're doing what we have to do. Do I? Hold on. Is it that time? Do I need to get off GCPR? GCPR. Greetings, salutations. Yeah, we're out of here. Catch me if you can, if you have a VPN on my other social medias. But we're out of here. And we'll see you tomorrow. The same Black Panther time, same Wakanda channel. Peace. All right. I have to do that now because I remember I logged off. I thought I had logged off of GCPR one night, and I look over while I'm reading. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and no, it was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was still logged in. and, and they was like they couldn't wake Thomas up, and everybody was scared to call me. They scared. I'm not calling him. Thomas will call him. Thomas sleep. So yeah, when Thomas got ready to go live, he called me and was letting me know that hey, you still logged in. I was like, that damn Reese. Nah, we'll talk to you about this later. All right, grandmother, love you. I'll talk to you later. Keep me dated. Keep me updated on your sinus. Yeah. So That is it. I'm going to break down, if you all would like, I will break down the one big beautiful bill as far as the parts that are dealing with Medicaid, Medicare, and more specifically, as a matter, it only takes me a minute. I could do it more in depth if you would like me to, but we're talking about adding $4 trillion to the debt over the next 10 years. We're talking about cutting $1 trillion from Medicaid, Medicare, and those programs like SNAP. We're talking about throwing millions of people, probably about 12 million people, off of Medicaid rolls, Medicare rolls. We're talking about the tax incentive. Listen, this is the thing that gets me about taxes, because people want to run around here and act like the tax breaks for the lower and middle class are so great because they say percentage wise they're the same. There's a difference in percentage if I make $900,000 a year and I make 60. There's a vast difference. And then when you add to that it's a vast different, you're celebrating somebody that makes just at the poverty line, getting an increase. They're saving taxes of $600. Number one, if you're living at the poverty line or within 5 points of the poverty line, you shouldn't be paying taxes in the first place. You shouldn't be paying taxes in the first place. Pinky is innocent until proven guilty. 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 Y'all can just skip that. You can just skip that. You could try to make some other argument. Guilty. Demon possessed guilt. All of this, just don't even try it. Don't even try it. You all say that, but you all would spend 5 minutes around Pinky and she would try to eat you. Literally. It would be like watching Alien Resurrection. Yeah, she's gonna bark at you. She's gonna try to eat you, and she's all of 8 pounds. 8 pounds. If Pinky was a bigger dog, like a cane corso, the world would be in trouble. She gets a due process. Her due process is to be dropped in a vat of holy water and sealed off until such time as the demon inside of her gets tired. And that hasn't, the Pope sent her back. Yep, I know. You all are the same lawyers that would stand by the side of Damien Hailstorm. What was Damien Thorn? Damien Thorn. Hailstorm is Satan's son in Marvel DC. Damien Thorn is the son in the Omen trilogies, in the Omen movies. The Pope sent me back too, so Pinky and I are the. Nope. Pope sent you back for a whole different reason. Yeah. Nope. Whole different reason, Penelope. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's innocent until proven guilty. We don't participate in white supremacy tactics. We don't participate in white supremacy tactics against people. Against demons, I'm taking any tactic that'll work. And none of them have worked. Pinky is still, that demon is still reside. I'm I'm convinced that demon Pinky isn't even demon possessed. See, I used to think Pinky was demon possessed. I'm sure she's just a demon. She's just a demon. She's not possessed by anything. She just is. She's just a demon that happens to like me. She's just a demon that happens to like me on any given day, probably because I feed her. Then she want to act all sweet and innocent, and then she bites some 6-year old child. And where are her lawyers when I have to pay the bill? Her lawyers are nowhere to be found. Hmm. She bites a 6-year old child, traumatized the little girl. It's not Pinky slander. This is Pinky. This is Pinky court appearance next month. Pinky lucky they didn't put her to sleep, but I didn't think they could. I still would have thought. Luckily, it was a first offense. Yeah, all right. I need character references. Y'all write some character references and lie, because you be lying. Pinky got you gonna have y'all lying in character references. Send Pinky to the White House and turn her loose on the orange one. That's the good thing. That's the good thing about Pinky. She would accept that challenge. She would not be swayed by she. If I took Pinky to the White House and just turned to loose, Secret Service, everybody in the White House could get it. I tell you, if she was a bigger dog, if she was the size of Corso, if she was the size of a cane Corso, she would chew him up and no one would even know. Pinky going see Pinky is not stealthy. See, that's the thing. It'd be different if Pinky was a stealthy demon dog, right? She not stealthy. The minute I put her down, whoever there besides, me and Bella and the crumb snatchers, they gonna get it. They gonna get it. I'm convinced the only reason Pinky doesn't attack me and pretend like she loves me is because she know I could throw her to the moon. Yeah. No receipt. It's not just no receipt. In this case, I can't ride with you. I can't ride with you. Literally, the children were just like riding their bike, and I had taken the trash out, and I pushed the door up. Pinky ran into the door when she saw the children. She ran into the door popped open. The next thing I know, I'm trying to pull Pinky off the little girl. It wasn't, now, I'm not going to minimize it and say it wasn't bad. I mean, no, I'm sure the little girl was traumatized by a little white dog and the 6'4" black man chasing the little white dog. That's probably traumatizing enough. Not going to undervalue that. But it didn't, it's like, didn't break the, didn't really break the skin. But I was like, take her to the doctor, make sure. And that's going to, that's because children and bikes are scary. They were on, it was like say, I know I have a demon dog, so I should have taken, I should have, I just never seen her hit the door that hard and it popped open. And it's like, how you shut your screen door, you shut that door, and if you're not careful, it's shut, but all it takes is a good hit and it pops open. So 8 pounds of pressure in one place, door popped open. I joke. Hey, I got bit by a golden retriever once riding my bike. I don't like those dogs. Let's see. Eh, I I love dogs. I do. I from Pyrenees to, but little dogs. See, I like medium to big dogs. Little dogs are meaner than any big dog I've ever met. Pinky told the girl to get off the restaurant. Listen, 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 you all. Pinky thinks this whole block is her territory if she could. Yeah, yeah. She thinks the whole block is her territory. Bella's funny. I'll tell you, Bella be killing me because Bella knew. She was like, oh fuck. He was like, Bella's funny. Bella is like, she's so used to Pinky. Pinky be fighting Bella and Bella be like sleep or just laying there. Because Bella know that if I get tired of Pinky fighting, I can just backhand Pinky into a wall. Bella knows this. But Bella's like, she's my Pinky and but yeah, Pinky will grab food out Bella's mouth and Bella was just like, I was through with it anyway. It's like, yeah. Yeah, Pinky needs someone, a dog like Bella, because Bella like, I could break you in half, but you're so cute. Yeah. One of my uncles had a Chihuahua, and it tore me apart. Yeah, if Pinky blinks, you better move, right? So Pinky for president. Like I said, it is what it is, right? And but I, like I say, we're about to get. Like I said, if y'all want me to break that down, I will. We're gonna keep up with this. The fallout from is in Texas, and mark my word, this is just the start. Hurricane season. Hurricane season better be mild for our sake. This better be a mild hurricane season because a major hurricane season, we're gonna be in so much trouble. Because it's not the fact that we can't, in spite of what Marjorie Taylor Greene says. Um, you know, just see my video. Listen, I was about to leave and I thought about it. Did you see my video on Marjorie Taylor Greene? I made two of them because TikTok like restricted one. But did you see my video on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she introduced legislation to make weather modification and manipulation a crime? It's been a lot to digress, digest late. I feel that. I feel that, Tam. But we've been digesting this now for what, about what, 5 years together? Before cut, they said it's gonna be bad. I I know, I know, but I'm hoping that it's not because we just had the first one to make landfall, and eh, look, I almost fainted just reading what you wrote, Goddess. I almost fainted reading what you wrote because that would mean immaculate conception. And so that would just go to show me that Pinky is a real demon that can have live young. Don't even need anybody's help. She just decided she'd be like Gizmo. She get her wet, next thing you know, gremlins popping off of her. Yes. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene just introduced a bill to make weather modification and manipulation a crime. I and in my video I said somebody better tell Storm of the X-Men that the government could be looking for. TikTok gave me a violation and said that my video was misinformation, addressing misinformation from the woman who said Democrats have a weather machine. And I was like, I know Democrats don't have a weather machine because I would steal it and be in charge of it. Anybody grew up in the 80s and remember General Hospital? This is a Anybody remember the Cassadine family on General Hospital? Am I the only one? Am I the only one? Yeah. General Hospital, the Cassadines, they had a white they Luke and Laura, their whole storyline originally was about stopping the Cassadine family and their weather machine. I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene thought that was real. Mikos, yes, the Cassadines. Yeah. Yeah. So that is that. It still comes on too. It does. Yeah, long time ago. We used to have it playing like we'd be in the student union at Jackson State playing spade. I know. I realize that there's you meet these black people that don't anything you talk about black, they be like, "Oh, I don't do that. I don't play spades. I play spades and try to break the table." We play spade, we play bid whist, we play dominoes. But I got a new generation of black people that anything like that is, you know, that, I was at Jackson State where people were earning degrees. We were playing spades. I play spades and act like I don't know how. I play spades every morning. Days of Our Lives is still on too. It is? Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm have to look because I used to watch it because my grandmother used to think it was a comedy series. Yeah, yeah, that's how we got. We watched. I told you my grandmother immigrated to this country from um, Ghana, right? So she would watch soap operas because she thought soap operas were funny. They were funny to us. I didn't even realize that there were people watching this so intently for the drama when I was watching it for the laughs. I just thought it was comedy without a laugh track. I didn't know that until later. Yeah, we used to sit there. They do. We used to sit there and watch it and be laughing. I'm serious. I'm gonna tell you, General Hospital did more to confirm how white people act for me than a lot of other things. I was like, these white people are so crazy. And I do it because it was like everybody was always sleeping with everybody's husband and wife. I say, see, that's why I knew they wasn't black. I knew it wasn't black. I say, white people do that? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you have a girlfriend at that age. And don't even you talk to another girl if you want to without her permission. And you talking about sleeping with somebody? Oh no. Yeah. And the whole town know? Oh no. She she was more bent out of shape. And black women will be more bent out of shape. Not that you just slept with somebody, but you the whole town know. Oh, she gotta do something there. She gotta clown you. Yeah, you can't have a whole town knowing she just sit passively by while you. I know, I know. This is probably too ghetto or ratchet for some people, right? But it's the truth. Because, like I say, I know black people are refined and civilized now because they don't realize how funny I'll be laughing at them. What's up, Tasha? Lost my black card. Can't play spades or bid. I can't play double deck pin. I love pinochle. I love pinochle. I used to teach people. I remember being in jail. I taught the brothers how to play pinochle just so we could play pinocchles. I love pinochle. Y'all, speaking of love, y'all say hello to Bella. Hey, Bella. Bella, like you over here talking about spades. Yeah, you need to be talking about midnight snack. He went for a little walk in the middle of nowhere a long time ago. I love to play spades and checkers. I don't like checkers. I know how to play checkers, but checkers, I don't like checkers. I like chess and marbles. I like marbles. Yeah, I like marbles. I can play Go Fish. I'm not sure I can play Go Fish. We got a kitten today. Aw, how the kids love him. How the kids like him, Tasha. What kind of kitten? You need to send me a picture. You need to send me a picture so I can show Bella. I like marbles. I like marbles. I like darts. But my favorite strategy game is Wii or Stratego. Speaking of, I need to get to bed for. I I was hooked on all my children was in labor for 12 after 3. And then Dark Shadows. I didn't find Dark Shadows until much later. I was watching TV Land one night and Dark Shadows came on and it was like, this is a soap opera about vampires and witches and werewolves. I was like, yeah. I wish I would have known about that growing up. It depends. It's a little black kid, more like an emotional support for Kylie. Aw, aw. Uno, it depends on if you play Uno, what rules you use to play Uno. Oh, you at work? What's up, P. Jones? How to take care of something for the grandbaby. May not be back in time, so good night. All right, Reese. Good night. The rules that start fight. Yeah, those are the rules I like to use. see, see, you all know it's not safe to be over here with me. You all know it's not safe to be over here with me because I'm all those things. I want to play Uno with all the add-ons. I want to play Uno and make somebody draw 16. I got all that. I work overnight and they named the kitten Shadow after the Sonic character. Okay, Uno no mercy. Uno is fun. So when, yeah, you still your fiance, you still gonna make me talk about him? Yeah, talking about. Uh, I think it shouldn't. I think it should be illegal to have a fiance that's not talking about getting married. Y'all need if you all are when once you become engaged, the wedding should be within a year. I said what I said. Once you get engaged, the wedding should be within a year. 14 months at the most. 14 months at most. Yeah, we got to make plans. Yeah, yeah. You take 14 months. You gotta study their financial situation, make sure everything taken care of. You don't want no surprise to your credit ratings. 3 years, 3 years, somebody might come along and you be like, I ain't married. 3 years. Well, I consider that his fault. Yeah. You might need a little more time to get ready. I said once you become fiance, I'm not saying dating. You can date for a little while, but once you get the fiance title, and yeah, y'all need to be talking about a year because when you propose, you're supposed to have it in your mind that if they say yes, then you need to be ready. See, when you propose, let me break something down to y'all, right? Because a lot of people are about to get mad at me. But when you propose to somebody, you're supposed to be in a financial shape to marry them the next day. I said what I said. I said what I said. Don't propose if you're not in financial shape to get married. If they say yes and you're not prepared to get married the next day, you shouldn't be proposing. I feel you, Emmy. Don't, Natasha. I, you know me. This is just this. This is me. I just feel that way. I feel that way. I didn't propose until I was married, ready to get married. As a matter of fact, I made sure I was ready to get married the next day, and I would have been like, "What we need, Hmm, what we need." Yeah, I was like, but I know the game was different then. I also was still in a certain business, but yeah, I proposed because I was ready. I felt that way before, but that's not my. Tasha, let's. I'm gonna have to think about that one, Tasha. Listen, Tasha, we're gonna have to talk about that one. Yeah, we're gonna have to let that one marinate. Yeah, I can understand. I can understand. But if you're doing the proposing, you need to be married. You need to be prepared to get married the next day. I stand by that. I stand by that. But if you're receiving the proposal, you need to make sure the person ready to get married the next day also. That doesn't mean you have to. That just makes sure you know. And there are exceptions to these rules. Listen, I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. There are exceptions, and there's some lived experiences that play into these exceptions. Tasha, stop it. I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm in no rush, and we buying our house next year. Okay, that fits. That works. Make sure your name on the deed. Make sure it's our house and your name is on the deed. I'm all for women protecting themselves, right? Because life experiences has shown me that I'm gonna tell you, no man is intimidated by women taking steps to protect themselves in case they're pieces of shit. See, I know I'm not a piece of shit. So when women take measures to protect themselves against possibility of me being a piece of shit, it does not affect me in the least. It shows me that she is also thinking about her. And I have no problem with that. The men that get bent out of shape with women taking issues or taking steps to protect themselves are the men who know they're out to hurt women. No man that's not out to hurt you has any problems with you taking precautions. Damn, Olivia. Olivia has all kinds of clients. Olivia has all kinds of clients. Keep the money you need on a wedding. Go to the city reception. Say, listen, listen. You ain't said nothing wrong. I tell people, I remember. Now, don't get me wrong. We had my first when Jasmine and I got married. We had a ceremony, a small ceremony. Got married, and then after the house and after I had managed to stock away more money. We did have another affair for more people. We did, because money, it was a different form of money. I'm gonna tell you, y'all know me. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. It's a different form of money, but you're so right. I think I think people also have need to have discussion. And this is relationship advice 101. Take it or leave it. This is just from 57 years of experience, right? I think people need to have the relationship discussions up front and not at the back. Yeah. Once again, this is not my first marriage. I'm going things how they right, envy, and that's the main. I'm gonna say this. I want you to do things how they work for you and the kids. And if he's the man he's supposed to be, he will understand that. I want you to do it for you and the way you and the kids need it to be done. And if he's the man I think he is, he will understand that and won't give you any pushback. I want a relationship, but the dating field it's not, but it's still there's still people in there. You just have to be prepared. Y'all heard what Betty White said. Don't show your teeth to everybody you meet. It's okay to be a little sweet, but but and you gotta give yourself room. You gotta give yourself room to make bad decisions without making those bad decisions a continual process. Yeah, I think sometimes I meet women, and the worst thing about their thinking is that they think they're trapped into it, or we can have a whole show about this. We can have a show talking about how people get trapped in their idea that they have to live a certain way and present a certain relationship based upon how other people perceive their relationships. See, when you're like me and you don't live your life thinking about what people think about you first, trust me, it's so liberating. It is liberating. Um, I tell people, when you're in a relationship with somebody and you find yourself faking it, and I don't mean, yeah, sometimes there's a difference between faking something like, I don't want to go to the ballet, but you love the ballet and I love you, so we're going to the ballet. That's one thing. But it's a whole nother thing to fake who you are. Whole nother thing. But women, you all deserve happiness. And you deserve to define that happiness. You deserve it. And if they're not willing, and you don't stop looking for people to make you happy, because it's not anyone else's responsibility. You deserve to be happy on your own term. Look for people to share that happiness with and that reciprocate. Yeah. If I can't be if I can't be what you need, I want you to go find somebody you need. And that's enough for relationship advice from TNathan for now. I'm getting out of here. It is 11:30. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I'll see you all tomorrow night. Yeah, I got to go read some, me, got to make sure I thumb through all the executive orders that came down today because, unlike some people, my intelligence is not pseudo intelligence. It is actually rooted in truth. So I have books that I actually read. Stop it, T. Nathan. I'm being petty right now. I'm going to get out of here, right? If you know, you know. All right, y'all have a good one, and I will catch you. Hold on, let me log out of this other service first, because then I can log off this one. So I'll catch you all later on the YouTube land.